Bitcoin is called volatile, unpredictable, irrational, a speculative asset, but if you look closely, you'll notice a hidden pattern amidst all this chaos, which repeats almost like dead clockwork. These are the famous Bitcoin cycles. Since its creation, Bitcoin has followed a clear cyclical structure. Each cycle is driven by the movement we call halving, which is nothing more, nothing less than the movement that halves Bitcoin mining and limits the issuance of new Bitcoins. In the cyclical history, as shown on your screen, we have had peaks and troughs with halvings occurring in 2012, 2016, 2020, and 2024, with peaks at $1,000, $16,000, $69,000, and Bitcoin in the 2024 cycle after the halving reaching around $77,000. After forming a cycle peak, we experienced an average drop ranging between 85% and 70%. These declines usually occur between 2 years and 1 year and 3 months. The first time Bitcoin went through a halving, we had 2 years of decline. Then, approximately a year and a half of decline. Now, in the last cycle, which was after the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020, and the cycle peak being reached in November 2021, we basically had 2 years of decline as well. Basically, we have various ways and methods to identify potential areas to help us pinpoint target regions, peak regions, and bottom regions in the market. Some people prefer the monthly RSI, some like the stock to flow model, and others prefer the P-cycle top. I am more inclined towards pivot targets. Each cycle is composed of 3 scenarios: accumulation, parabolic rise, distribution, and decline after a peak formation region. Accumulation happens from time to time and usually occurs after the bear market when no one wants to hear about cryptocurrency anymore. It's the famous silent accumulation. In the parabolic rise phase, we see media involvement with various influencers and many famous people talking about crypto and people chasing easy profits. Basically, the price still stretches a bit more, and then we enter the distribution phase where insiders exit the market, open shorts, and the newcomers, the new money entering the market, end up buying at the cycle peaks. The halving was in April 2024, and historically, always after the halving, we have had between 12 and 18 months of upward movement. The big question is, has this cycle already ended? Based on historical data and information we have gathered from scouring the internet, many suggest that the market peak could occur between December and May 2026. However, it is worth noting that we typically have a peak information every 4 years, which would give us a basis for a peak formation between October and December 2025. In other words, we would have about 6 more months of growth if the past repeats itself, obviously. Many price projections, and you can look at stock to flow, logarithmic, ribbons charts, or even weekly RSI, right? Many suggest a peak formation above $120,000, potentially reaching up to $200,000. In fact, we have targets in these regions. You don't need to predict the top, you just have to respect the cycles. Bitcoin is like a time machine. It always rewards those who understand, especially cycles and those who have the ability to know how to wait. The data is there, the information is there. The big question is, what are you going to do with this information? Has this cycle come to an end? Or are we still heading towards the cycle peak? See you in the next video.